whole picture. There's heaps.
Today we're exploring in Kathmandu, Nepal, and we're here to uncover the incredible traditional food that you can find here. This is an amazing city with a ton of incredible food.
Nepal is home to over 100 different ethnicities, so the food culture is simply mind-blowing. We can't wait to share what we've found with you.
The food scene of Kathmandu is a window into the diversity of Nepal. Over 100 ethnicities call this country home, and if you know where to look, you can eat foods that are incredibly rare, unusual, and most of all delicious. This is our second video from Kathmandu, and we take you into the heart of Newari cuisine, the food of the indigenous people of the Kathmandu Valley, and eat a unique Newari delicacy that has to be seen to be believed at a popular local restaurant. We share with you a traditional Newari sweet made of rice flour and dried condensed milk, and devour a souped-up version of Nepal's national dish, Dialbat. In this Kathmandu series, we'll show you some of Nepal's best food, from street food favourites to traditional dishes. You don't want to miss this series. Get ready for some mouth-watering food.
I'm Thomas.
And I'm Sheena, and we're chasing a plate.
We hope you're hungry. Let's eat. We're going to get really into the heart of the food culture here in Kathmandu in this series. So we are getting right into the back streets and winding our way around these incredible parts of town to really find the traditional food to show you guys in these videos. And this first meal for this video is super traditional and has a dish that we are very excited to show you. It looks super neat.
We're in a part of the Kathmandu Valley which is famous for Newari food. Actually, the first stop that we're going to is this restaurant right here, and they specialise in Newari dishes. Now, the Newar people are the indigenous, hello mate, are the indigenous inhabitants of the Kathmandu Valley, and I feel like that we have come to Nepal to eat one particular dish. We're going to be eating a whole range of food in this video, but there's this one dish that I am absolutely so excited to try and share with you, and we're going to be eating it here, so let's go in. Namaste. Namaste. How are you? Good. The smells in here are amazing. So you can see all of the dishes lined up. The owner was just talking a bit about all the different Newari foods, and this is a great little spot. It's really no frills, really local. These guys here have just had a great lunch. I think, was it delicious?
Yes.
And there's all these beautiful smells of spices and whatnot in the air. I think we're going to sample a whole range of things. So let's get into it. Choila, potato curry, sapu micha, and bhaji. Dialbat. A whole picture. There's heaps. The owner asked me what I wanted to drink, and I said we wanted to try the chang, which is the rice beer. We've actually had it before and it's delicious. It's a fermented rice alcohol, and they literally brought us this gigantic jug of it, so we better start getting into it, otherwise we'll be here for hours. Look at it, it's a beautiful milky white colour, and it's going to be nice and bubbly and fermented. Actually, you can see the bubbles popping out of the top there. Dialbat. We ordered up a Newari feast. Oh, what's this? The sapu micha. Yes, awesome. Dialbat. The piece de resistance of the feast has just arrived, but I want to talk you through what we ordered. So we basically just said to him, load us up with a bunch of Newari traditional foods. He had a whole range lined up in that kitchen there. So this is what I have been wanting to try ever since we booked our tickets to Nepal, and this is sapu micha. How crazy is it? What it is buffalo tripe that is stuffed with bone marrow, and then it's boiled and deep fried. They look absolutely crazy. And then we've got some more buffalo dishes. Buffalo is probably the most popular meat in Newari food. So this is choila, which is a spicy grilled buffalo. This here is sakuti, which is dried buffalo cooked with onion, and there's some chili in there. This is wo, which is a lentil pancake. We asked for the mixed one, so it's got buffalo keema, so minced buffalo, and then an egg in the middle there. This is some sort of a soup. I think I can smell bamboo in there, so a bamboo, and it's got, I think, maybe lentils in there as well. This is a very important part of a Newari feast. This is bhaji, so these are rice flakes, so beaten rice flakes, and you pour gravy on them and moisten them up. And then we have got some potato curry. But I've got to get into these bad boys. So these are the sapu micha. What it is, it's buffalo tripe that's filled with bone marrow, buffalo bone marrow, and then it is tied up, boiled, then deep fried. So you can see here actually, if you come really close, the thread there that it is tied up with, sealed up with. And I reckon these are gonna be really gooey. Holy moly, that's sensational. I love bone marrow, and so when I put it in my mouth, crunched through that tripe, which is really crispy from being deep fried, the bone marrow just exploded in my mouth. It just oozed out, and there's a lot of bone marrow in there, like a really big mouthful of bone marrow. It's so good. It's so interesting. So when you eat it, you do have to make sure that you're pinching the part which has got the thread, so you bite down on it where the thread is. It was an explosion of flavor, so rich and creamy, and the outside is super crispy. Let's get into this choila. So choila is a very popular lunch meal and always served with these rice flakes. So I'm gonna just pop them on the rice flakes and sort of get a bit of a spoonful. So choila is the buffalo, spicy grilled buffalo, and the Newari really love their buffalo. They use every part of the buffalo, down to their eyeballs and the tail, everything. And they say there's something like 215 buffalo dishes. Wow, there's so much flavor in that buffalo, in the meat itself, as well as the marinade. So tons of spices, chili, ginger, garlic, cumin, loads of spices. There's also some green onion, I think, in there. The way that it's eaten, so with the bhaji, these rice flakes, it's very interesting. This cuisine is just unlike anything I've ever encountered. The dishes are so unusual and are like nothing I've ever tasted. These rice flakes are very crispy, they're quite dry, so I reckon actually they'll be really good with this potato curry gravy. I'm gonna get some of this gravy and pour it on the bhaji. So they're very crunchy, crispy, and they need a bit of moisture, I reckon. So let's get some of the rice flakes, the potato, and more of that choila. That potato curry is very spicy. Again, lots of chili, mustard seed, cumin. It's just level upon level of spice. Whoa, it's really hitting me in the back of the throat. Oh, this chang, the rice beer, goes down really well. It's fermented, so a little bit bubbly, got a beautiful, smooth taste. Alcohol is a really important part of Newari cuisine. It's very much encouraged, drinking, that is. This is amazing.
Let's grab some of this sakuti. So this is buffalo again, dried buffalo meat, and you can see the onions in there, so very big bits of onion, chili, all sorts. I might have that by itself to start off. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, a lot of chili. That dried meat has got a lot of bite to it, so it's a little bit chewy, but it's more of it's a good texture. It's not just not nice chewy. It's very good. And the onion's super crispy, but man alive, that's got a lot of spice. Just full of flavor. That is an absolute flavor explosion. Whoa, that is good. I'm just gonna grab some more, but this time I'll put it with the rice flakes. So these are highly unusual, these rice flakes. It's like nothing else I've eaten. And to be honest, not being a local or of Newari origin and not having eaten these before, they're quite hard to deal with because they're completely dry. There is no moisture in them at all. So they sort of go all over the place. You drop them. So they're a great learning curve as far as a different food goes. Oh, so crunchy. Those rice flakes texture things out really nicely. So super crunchy. So they give a nice balance to that chewiness of the meat, the soft crunch of the onion, and then the really tough, hard crunch of the rice flakes. Wow, that is building and building and building. My mouth is gushing saliva at the moment. There might be some Szechuan pepper in there because, man, that has one hell of a hit. I want to rip into this woe now. So this is a lentil pancake with some buffalo mince here and an egg in the middle. And we've also got this soup. So I'm going to pop some soup over the top just to get some moisture in there. Oh, look at that. Something that's really interesting actually about this food. This pancake is hot, the soup's hot, but all the other dishes are room temperature. So they're pre-made, they're down there in big stainless steel bowls, and you just get served a portion when you order it. And that is the way it is in Newari cuisine. So it's always pre-cooked and it's room temperature food, so not piping hot out of the oven. Oh, and also obviously these tripe and bone marrow little packages, they were hot as well because they came straight out of the oil. Let's rip into this woe, break off a bit from the end where it's all got that soup on it, and nice big piece of buffalo meat on there as well. Oh, that was very good. Again, I mean, the standout thing from what I've eaten so far is layers of flavor and layers of spice, and that is just the same. It's a bit salty, it's a bit spicy, it's got freshness from herbs. That soup's very nice. That soup has a sort of almost a daal taste, so that goes very nicely with the pancake because it's sucking up some of the moisture. Pancakes are nice and dense but not too tough, and the meat was beautiful, very heavily spiced buffalo mince all in that pancake. This rice beer is going down a treat for this meal because, man alive, that spice level is building so quickly. It's incredibly spicy, which is amazing. So it's really good having the alcohol to go with it. The cold rice beer goes absolutely perfectly with this meal. We are back out on the streets after that huge Newari feast. That was an incredible restaurant, super no frills, very home cooked feel to it, and that is known as one of the best places to get an incredibly traditional Newari meal like that. So it was super special, and it's now good to be back out on the streets in the cold, but we're heading for our next thing just up around the corner.
The next food that we want to share with you is a traditional Newari sweet. It's called yomari, and we've come to this little restaurant here to sample it. They're known for doing some of the best yomari in town, so let's go head in and see what they've got. Wow, freshly steamed. Dialbat. So is this chaku or kua?
Sweet milk.
Yeah, sweet milk. Perfect. Dialbat. So we've got a whole pan of freshly steamed yomari have come out of the kitchen. This is a raging little spot. There's tons of people who have stopped by for dinner, but we're all about these sweet snacks. So let's jump down here. I've got a little friend who's got his keen eye on my yomari. So how huge are these dumplings? So they're a sweet dumpling made out of rice flour, and it's got a dried condensed milk filling inside. Now this little spot here is one of the few places in Kathmandu that you can eat these year round. They're traditionally made for the end of the rice festival, or sorry, the end of the rice harvest. And so we're super lucky to be able to try these. Wow, so unusual. The rice flour is very sticky, quite gooey, like it just coats all your teeth. And then on the inside, you've got this dried condensed milk. I think there might even be some coconut in there. It's sort of grainy. love it because it's not overly sweet. It's got a beautiful creamy flavor. And then that outer, that rice flour, is quite a thick sort of skin. Look at these. They have got their eyes fixed on my yomari. I'm not sure if you guys would be keen on this. It's a sweet. This is a traditional Newari sweet made to mark the end of the rice harvest. And eating it here, sitting outside on this tiny little stool in front of this packed out traditional Newari little mom and pop restaurant is neat. It's really cold as well, so these are going down a treat. They've just come right out of the steamer. So unique.
The next meal we're going to have is Dialbat. So this is one of the national dishes here in Nepal. So it's something we could definitely not have while we're making this series. But we're going somewhere where they do a real souped up version of Dialbat.
Namaste! Wow, what a feast! Dialbat. Perfect.
This crazy good looking Dialbat has showed up. So I've started by pouring it right over my rice, and I've poured it over quickly because this is the sort of the essence of this dish. This is dal, so a lentil curry, which you can now see all over my rice, and the rice, so that is Dialbat. So dal and bat means rice, and that's a dish you'll find all over Nepal. Incredibly common dish, but this one's been sort of souped up and taken to the next level. So normally the dish is just dal and bat, so Dialbat. But this one has been souped up by a group of people to have all of these extras. So a group of people called the Thakali people have taken this to the next level, and they say they've really perfected the Dialbat. And look at all these additions. So they've added a vegetable curry over here. You can see peas, potato, courgette. We've got some fresh spinach here. We've got some gundruk here, which is a very important dish in Nepali cuisine, and you can see there's vegetables in it. So it's fermented vegetables, and I can also see a whole lot of soybeans in there mixed in. I can see a lot of chili as well. We've got a radish pickle. We've got acha, which looks like it's going to be nice and spicy. That's a sort of a chutney. We've got a couple of little just fresh vegetables, and we've got some curd, so some yogurt to add to that to freshen it up. Oh, and a papadom to give it a bit of crunch. Let's start simple with just the dal and the bat, so the Dialbat. So I won't put any of those additions in there to start with. I just want it in its natural form. Oh, lentil curry is a little bit creamy. Rice is perfectly cooked. But in its essence, that is a very simple dish. It's not overly punchy in flavor. It's just a nice, simple, everyday style of dish. So I think it's time to get straight in to the additions. I think this one that's closest to me, this vegetable curry first. We'll get some courgette in there, potato, peas, but it's all about comboing it up. So we'll get it all in there together. Oh, boom, ramps it straight away. Completely ramps it up. So you've got the base flavor of the lentil curry, which is a beautiful, natural, earthy flavor, but now that's really bumped it up a notch. Beautifully cooked vegetables, got a nice bit of bite still. Now let's get some gundruk. So this is a very important part of the Nepalese cuisine, and mix that through the rice. So these are fermented vegetables and the soybeans. Oh, wow. Oh, that's absolute burst of flavor. Tangy and almost zingy. So really hits all the different flavor zones in your mouth. Oh, a bit salty. Oh, that is great. And there's some chili in there, so that adds a little bit of spice. Nothing crazy at all, just a little touch of spice. Now let's get some of this fresh spinach in there as well. So we get some fresh spinach. I'm gonna really combo it up actually. Let's get some vegetable curry, some of that fermented veg. Let's get some of the acha on there as well. This is what I love about this plate of food. You can just combo up any way you want. Oh, that fresh spinach is fantastic. It's just boiled spinach, but they have not overdone it. So it's got a lot of crisp crunch in it. Wow, that is good. And the acha is a little bit tangy, a little bit sweet, adds another layer of chili and spices to the dish. Let's crack into this papadum. I'm absolutely loving this. So I want some crunch. We'll get that in there for some crunch. I'm gonna pour a little bit of curd on there. So a little bit of creaminess. This meal is bringing back so many good memories for me because a number of years ago we did the Everest Base Camp trek, and this was an incredibly common dish to have on trekking days. And so this is bringing back great memories of that. But my gosh, this is just off the charts compared to those Dialbats. There's so much punchy flavors going on here. Oh, the papadum and the crunch of the papadum and the creaminess of the curd. Again, just another levels of flavor and texture going on. This is so enjoyable, and I've still got some dal here, so I can pour that over to really wet up that rice. Oh, look at it all soaking through. Oh, it's just beautiful how you can combo it all up. This is a great Dialbat. It's packed with flavor. It's very well balanced. It's got crunch, it's got softness. It's incredible. And the best bit about this is they top things up. So if you run out of a certain dish and you want more, they'll come and spoon more onto your plate. So you can just get, if something really good, you can get more of it. Keep going, keep those combos going. Incredibly enjoyable. Hey, we're starting. We're gonna get really